Yeah, so if I want to talk about the other benefits that we've seen by going down the eco-friendly route, I guess one of the most interesting things at the moment is the fact that the Theatre Royal in Norwich has agreed to partner with ABC Taxis in terms of ABC Taxis very shortly will become the preferred supplier of taxi services recommended for customers, but also clearly for the Theatre Royal's taxi business itself. So in terms of their guests, their staff, etc., they will be using ABC Taxis. It's really interesting if we look at the values and ethos of Norwich Theatre Royal. The environmentally friendly issues are really quite key to their business plan, and they would not have chosen to partner with ABC Taxis had it not been for the environmentally friendly initiatives that REV ACTIVE has helped them with.
Wonderful. And you actually took the certificate down to show them? And
we have been taking the certificate. We've taken it even today to Theatre Royal. We took it down a few weeks ago. We've taken it into Aviva today as well as part of an initiative to develop business with Aviva.
Wonderful.
So again, it's something which is differentiating ABC in their marketplace.
Great. And I heard as well, the taxi driver was telling me about the kind of financial benefit for the drivers themselves and the fuel costs, and how that can actually pay off the cost of actually buying the eco taxis. I mean, has there been a significant financial effect that you've seen on the business itself?
And for that bit, I'd like to hand over to Simon, because it's a really good question, but I don't know the answer to that.
Well, the main aspect is the fuel, obviously. Prior to that, I had a 2 litre diesel, spending between £120 and £150 a week on fuel. And last week, and the price, I put £47 in.
Wow, so big difference.
It's basically paying for itself.
Wonderful.
In what I'm getting back, you know. I was sitting there, worked last night, finished 59 at the gallon.
And the cars themselves, are they enjoyable to drive?
Yeah, they're fun. Feel good. They are fun to drive. There's lots of different gadgets and buttons in there to make it. You don't have to have a milk float, as a lot of people think when they get in, and they don't plug it in, and because they all think that. But you know, you press a button and you get the power surge, and you press a button and it gets the eco just on battery. So you, depending on what traffic you're running in the car, fit into all those categories.
So they for the type of jobs that you do, they're just as good as actually.
Yeah, I've had no
cars.
problem. I've got wheelchairs in, I've got suitcases in. A lot of people thought the boot was small. It just looks small. The car's a bit of a TARDIS really. It looks small from the outside, but it's quite spacious inside. Feels more like driving a people carrier than driving a car, to be honest.
Okay.
Because of how it's all set up.
And have you had positive feedback from the customers?
Yeah, customers really like it. Yeah. I know. They say I turned into a Toyota salesman because you can't help running. That does that, it does that, it does that. You know, but it's fine.
Wonderful.
It's
okay,
fine.
good. Thank you very much.
Okay.
My name's David Bates. I own a small business called Moorlands Press, based in the heart of Norfolk. And basically what we produce at the end of the day is cold pressed rapeseed oil. We do that from a very basic base material, which happens to be rapeseed. The rapeseed is harvested within 5 miles of the property and stored at a farm less than a mile away from where we are. Okay, after pressing our oil and refining our oil, which they call the Champagne of Norfolk, we have had a lot of good reviews about it. We are left with a waste material, and that waste material is rapeseed cake that comes out of the machine. Several things can be done with this. It can be used as a fertiliser on lawns. It could also be used as an animal feed, but we have the problem of, with us being in arable Norfolk, there's not a great deal or demand for an awful lot of animal feeds. Also, you're limited to the types of animals that you can give this feed to. So we wanted to look for a solution whereby we could reduce carbon and actually benefit the people round about in Norfolk and the Banham area with some kind of product. So what we actually came up with is purchasing a biocompacting machine from PLC Products, which you can see behind us here.
Okay.
Okay. The biocompactor is a worldwide product. It's been sold all over the world, basically because of the fact that it can turn almost any material into a briquette. But it can not only turn any material into a briquette, it can also do it with a very, very low power usage. We looked at power for this and we decided on electricity rather than biodiesel or running anything else. Rather than using a huge amount of heat and pressure, what the biocompactor does, it uses an Archimedes auger within the centre, several blades that compress the work, along with a nozzle that can be adjusted for pressure reasons to finally extrude our rapeseed cake into fuel logs, which you can see here. Okay, all we have to do, and what we're currently working on, is a feeder system for it. We slowly introduce the pellets, the cake, to the top of the machine, and what happens is it will pressurise it and extrude it through the nozzle and out to the end along a channel so that it can cool. And you can probably see that starting to happen. Off we go. If we go too quickly, we won't allow the briquettes to cool. So obviously a nice slow feed is the key, because it holds the block in the shape that we want. So it's much easier to handle and much easier to put on a fire, and it gives a longer burn. Okay, because of the REV ACTIVE grant, which we're very grateful for, it means that the oil that we would have normally initially have produced for £1 a litre, we can now produce for 65p a litre, because it's turned a waste product into a valuable commodity that lots and lots of people want, as well as it reducing carbon. There's also another throwback from it, because we're now able to produce products in volume, sell at a lower cost. We also have another waste product, which happens to be the finings off what's been basically settled out. Normally this would have been thrown away, but because we have so much of it, we actually go through another process where we turn it into biodiesel. So basically we reduce carbon again, and we've also further reduced our running costs because production is increased to start with, because we've got this machine, and also the fact that our costs in fuel have suddenly dropped massively because we've turned a waste product into a valuable fuel. Over this last winter, we've pressed at least 7 to 8 tons of oil, and all of that is sold. All of the waste product is sold, that is, into briquettes, and we usually have a waiting list for people who want to buy it.